Olympian, two-time Olympic medalist, three-time world champ.
Helen, you continue to make history. Where does this one rank?
It's I don't think you can rank making Olympic teams. They're all so special. They're kind of few and far in between. You can never take anything for granted, and man, this is just really special. So, but there's not one more than the other.
Was there a difference between each time that you have won this tournament?
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I was thinking about this, that I've qualified the weight for 4 Olympics now, and I've done it a different way each time. One time not making the team and qualifying the weight, and then other times making it, then going and qualifying. And just this is the first time that I qualified at the Worlds and then also made the team. So it's just crazy. I don't know. Sorry, I'm rambling, but I'm thinking about coaching in the future, and it's like just so cool that I know what these experiences are like. I've got to taste them for myself. So.
Helen, being one of the pillars of women's wrestling, when you look back when you won gold in 2016 to where women's wrestling is now, what can you say about the growth in the sport?
Oh man, the growth in women's wrestling is phenomenal. I mean, it's the #1 high school growing sport in the country, and there's so many people that came together. Sally with Wrestle Like a Girl, and they had the NCAA I think coalition or initiative for that, and so that now that's being added within I think the next year or two, and just honestly, it's just the girls showing up, the girls giving a try, the brothers that are rolling with their sisters in the basement or in the family room, and then just the parents that are willing to let their daughters go out, and then I think they get to see the fruit of that labor and how much value it brings and how much confidence and skills that it will give you just for life. So yeah, the growth is huge, and I think it will keep growing.
Pennsylvania just sanctioned it as a high school sport. This was their first season.
Amazing.
To be able to do that here,
Amazing.
to have the Olympic trials in State College, do you think it will help grow the sport for girls to be able to see it in person?
Man, I hope it will help. I mean, for sure. I think there's truth to that saying. You got to see it to believe it. When I was growing up, there were no male Olympic champions, and I struggled a lot to believe that it was even something I'd be able to do because I felt like I didn't relate to the male Olympic champions. And then God really showed me that you can win just by being yourself. And so I think girls now that they have champions, they have young ones like Amita Lord and Adeline Gray, and all the amazing team of women to look up to. So yeah, when you see it, you can believe it.
3 years ago, you had the knee injury before trials. What was the lead up to this trials?
The lead up to this trials, I always kind of say things like fires are gonna come. Before every breakthrough, there's maybe a breakdown, or there's definitely a battle. So there were so many fires to put out, but it was almost comical. I mean, a month out, it was like everything that could go wrong started going wrong, like just one thing after another after another. So I think I would still take this over an injury.
The song mind sharing the most significant photos you had put out?
It was just like I got in a car accident, and then my car just got damaged at the auto shop, and then like this issue happened with my bed, and then I got this really like deep sickness for a couple weeks, and then like this broke, and then it was just one thing after another after another. Yeah.
Despite that, you just dominated a world champ. Is this the best you've wrestled since 16 and 17?
Yeah, I definitely think that I'm coming into a peak season right now, and I've been putting in a lot of work, and I've just been, I would say the last Olympics was like all about just getting healthy, like mentally and emotionally. I remember telling my mom before the Tokyo Olympics that I didn't even know if I was mentally stable enough to compete. I mean, it was like by the grace of God that I came away with the medal, quite honestly, and this feels like a very redemptive cycle where I've gotten to heal and to see that, oh yeah, you can come back from these things, and if you don't give up and you listen to your body and you're just stay in that awareness and respect those things, but stay with it, you can work through it.
What kind of things did you do to kind of work on your body?
Oh man, they told me if I wanted to come back to wrestling that I would have to do brain therapy and trauma therapy for the rest of my career and my life, and I really took that to heart. So I think it's better to stay on top of things, even if maybe you think you don't need it, to just stay on top of it, because you'll always get stuff out of it. So I do probably just as much therapy or recovery modalities, if not more, than I do actual training.
Who was it that told you to do that?
It was a neuropsychologist at Johns Hopkins.
Alan Gray was part of your video.
Yeah.
She unfortunately didn't outwit tonight. What's her legacy?
Yeah, I mean, her legacy is incredible. And, if you look at the men's side, men's freestyle, how many of the guys on teams, just on national team alone, are married with children? And you look on the women's side, how many are married with children? It's just Adeline. It's a totally different sacrifice. You have some guys with 5 kids that are wrestling. Like Adeline, no woman can do that. Go have 5 children and come back and still make it. So the fact that Adeline was willing to do that and was willing to make a comeback and came back with a gold medal, qualified the weight, for a youngster like Kennedy Blaze who's now chasing her dream. I mean, that's incredible. And she could have not one baby, but two. So, yeah.
Talk about, you just mentioned Kennedy. She beat Adeline Gray a great, and you just talked about her legacy. How does that explain the depth that USA Wrestling has for the women's division now?
Yeah, the depth that USA Wrestling has for the women's division, it's just getting better and better. I think if you look at Adeline's weight class a couple of years ago, maybe a decade ago, it was like if Adeline wasn't going, you didn't know how the next person would do. Now you look and it's like the top 7 girls, you're like they could go do well at any tournament overseas. So I think that speaks volumes for the way women's wrestling has grown.
Now with that year, you're going to Paris. What does it mean, especially after Tokyo was such a different Olympics, that you'll get to experience kind of what you did in Rio?
Yeah, in Rio we had the Zika virus, and then in Tokyo we had the coronavirus. So there's just been like a lot of things around the Olympics time. So just to get to look forward to Paris and get to compete in the Olympics again after what the world went through, I think it's really just coming together, and it's gonna be nice to like see everyone spend time, do what you love, and share that with the world.
What has it meant to represent Southeast Kids wrestling here?
It's been amazing. Art, Kim, the Martori family, they've been incredible. I'm so grateful for them. Like, I can't even put into words how much they've done for me and how much they've done for women's wrestling and wrestling. So they've definitely cemented their legacy, and the impact that they've made will, I think, reverberate for generations to come.
First to qualify 3 times for
What does that mean to you to do that first
I don't know that it was a record or that it was something that I just don't even think about that stuff. And then I talked about it one time in a post like a couple days ago, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I try not to think about that one. No pressure. But no, it's such an honor. It's really cool. It just like makes me think back to myself as a little girl, and if you told me that I was gonna do this, I don't think I would be here. I have so much doubt and insecurity, and it's been a journey. And I think some people are maybe born really confident and chase after these things, and then other people like me, it's like you chip away a little bit at a time, and then you look back and you're like, wow, this is so cool.
So then where do you find that confidence? What do you do to be confident?
There's a scripture that I love, and it's I put no confidence in human effort. So, honestly, I have a lot of doubts and fears, but I just trust God, and I wrestle to glorify Him, and I really feel like I get to fly, and like that I get to walk with God when I'm wrestling, and so I just focus on that. I'm like, if I'm good enough, then the results will take care of themselves. But all I want to do is my very best, and wherever that leads me, I know I can be proud of that.
You were talking to Kennedy earlier, and she said she was 8 years old and won her first world title. But now see the generational talent that's come through with women's wrestling. How is it to see how the sport's grown, and specifically some kid wrestlers carry on that way?
Yeah, it's tremendous. It's so cool. I think about when I was young, the women that went before me. Clarissa Chen was coaching at the Cars Corner, and after the match we hugged, and I joked with her. I was like, man, my first wrestling hero. Like, I remember the first time that I went on a trip, and I think I was like 16 years old, and I got to room with Clarissa Chen, and I was probably the most annoying kid to her.